I never know when I'm going to go live. It just all depends if something I hear might trigger me to want to talk about it, and then I decide to go live. Other than that, I never know. I don't plan lives because this is not a channel that's like monetized or anything like that where I have to just maintain a certain amount of money a month. And I don't like to worry about things like that. I don't have to worry about something. For me, it would be that money would be unstable for me. It'd be too unstable to have to pretty much depend on something like this. Hey there, that's not guaranteed for me. Some people do really well on YouTube. I don't think I had to put a lot of work into it. But hello. Um, so the title is called Many Women Who Wanted to Get Married Could Have Been. But you know what? I'm going to change it to Many People Who Wanted to Get Married Could Have Been. Because there are some men who like to complain about women who just want thugs. There are some men, there's some so-called good men that like to complain about that too. So I'm going to change it to people, but I really want to talk about women only because women are the ones that seem to really be very, very desperate. Women are the ones that tend to be very desperate, even though you have some men that like to complain about because they couldn't get who they are attracted to. They want to take it out on all the women and say, oh, women just like thugs. But you couldn't get the Nicki Minaj's. You couldn't get the Beyoncé's. You couldn't get the Sierras or whoever that you're trying to. You couldn't get those kind of women. And so then you get mad at all women and say women want thugs. But the fact of the matter is there's plenty of women that might have liked these men and these men were not attracted to them back. And that's fine, but don't blame nobody else. Just say that you want people who don't want you back. And then, and just say it like that. Because some women have many, specifically many brown women have that problem. You know why I say brown women have that problem? Because they want men who don't want them back. So which men do they want who don't want them back? Brown men. Brown men don't seem to want brown women back. So I'm just talking about the collective of brown men, like the collective. When you say brown women want somebody who don't want them back, that is the collective of brown men. They do not seem to want brown women like that. They don't. I feel like that's why many of, if they want to get married, I'm not interested in getting married. I'm set in my ways almost. I can change. Like I can change as far as the attitude to make myself better, getting closer to the Most High, being my self-identity, being that of the Most High instead of that of some kind of ego person that's created by the government. All right. Hi, goodness. See, I never know how many people are watching. Hello. But I've set in my ways as far as I don't want to share stuff like bedrooms and bathrooms and like that type of stuff. I don't want to have to do. But like traveling and going out, I don't mind that stuff. I don't mind compromising in that way. But as far as sharing a living space, I'm gonna have a hard time, especially when it comes to the bathroom. We absolutely have to have two different bathrooms. I can't do it. I don't like sharing. But anyway, because I clean up after myself. So I can't stand nobody else that's not going to clean up after themselves. And I have to see stuff all on the floors. And I can't do it because I don't like my own mess. I cannot stand to see hair on the floor. I can't stand myself. I can't stand that with myself. So I can't take anybody else like that. But anyway, other than that, yeah, so the title, like a lot of women, the reason why I say a lot of them could have been married if a lot of ones that want to be, if you want to be, not if you do not want to be, if they wanted to be, they could have. And I'm going to tell you why. A lot of people are letting their egos choose who they want, and they want this person and I've been there too before. So I can, when you're in your ego, you tend to be, and most people, especially in the United States of America, I have to say, if I can guess, 98% of people are just in their ego. Okay, they're in their egos. They're not in their, I don't want to use the word higher self because it's always going to be a higher self and a higher self and a higher self. I don't like the word higher self. They're not in their they're not necessarily, they're not in their higher mind, closer to like, they don't have the mind of, I don't know, people don't want to hear this word, they don't have the mind of Christ. I know people feel like that's churchy, but that's the best word I can use. Most people don't have the mind of Christ, meaning that they don't look at things that the way society does. Most people look at things the way society does. That's why I say they're in their ego. And so when you're in your ego and you go by society and people and trying to do this, you're trying to appease another ego. Well, women, you have to wear these heels. Well, women, you have to do that. Well, women, you have to do all these changes to get a man. That's a bunch of ego type of stuff. You're not really get a person that is necessarily in alignment with the Most High. When you have to do all this crazy stuff to get somebody's attention, it's really a whole lot of ego to me. And you're just trying to do something to get his gaze. But what happens when you actually end up with him? What kind of person is he going to be? This is why I know that's the point of dating. I don't like all that dating myself, but sometimes for some people it worked, you know. But what I'm saying is that a lot of people want who they are attracted to, even if it's somebody who's not good for them. But when you have somebody who's willing to treat you right, but they might not be who you're attracted to, but it'll be a good person that might have been a good husband or could have been a good wife, because it should be for people. It should really be for people. I'm going to change it to people instead of women, because men complain too. Okay. But then you have men that they're not attracted to certain women too. And you know what? You don't have to be attracted to anybody. You can have your type. But the problem is when you're in your ego and you're letting your ego do all the looking for you. And then what your type is not going to get you anywhere if you're looking for a marriage or a stable relationship or a good relationship. When you're in your ego, then whoever you end up with your shadow is going to bring you, you're going to get whatever's in your shadow. Okay. That's what I'm talking about, that, you know, when you're just talking about what your type is. Okay. But when you get outside of your ego and you just decide to look at the person, I said this not a long time ago. I said this a few months ago. If more people looked at other people from the inside out instead of the outside in, things would be a lot different. Even just when it comes to regular relationships, even when it's friendship, even when it's just whatever it is. If most people were attracted to somebody based on what's going on inside, then things would be a lot different. And that's what I'm talking about. People are attracted to folks based on a lot of external things. Okay. And it's hard to get past the external things when you live in a material type of world. And then you're amongst a society, specifically the United States of America. You are amongst a society that is extremely superficial. Extremely superficial. And then wonder why it's hard to meet the right person, whether you are a man or whether you are a woman. Whether you are a man or whether you are a woman. Now, brown women, for me, I don't feel like many of them are not that superficial, because if many brown women were superficial, the brown community will look a lot better than what it does. A lot of brown women really don't have standards like that, or else the brown community will not be the way it is. But the brown community is the way it is also because you have a lot of women who continue to give birth to children because they know if the guy don't help them take care of the children, they know they can get government assistance. And it's going to come a time where the government assistance is going to be taken away. And then a lot of then you won't have a black community a brown community anymore, because they already know that they're not going to get any help. And so why continue to have children if you're not even going to get assistance from the government? So if these people are excited about the government assistance being taken away from brown women, but I think they need to understand that if government assistance is taken away, the brown community is going to stop. It's going to cease to exist because brown women are not going to give birth to a bunch of children just so they can be alone and fend for themselves without any kind of assistance, not even government. They won't have children anymore, and then you won't have the brown community will cease to exist. That's what happened. That's a good way to cause what you call that word? I haven't used the word in so long. Sometimes I forget. Genocide. I think that's the word is genocide. That's a good way to cause. That's a good way to end a nation, especially when you have a group of women that keep getting pregnant, but many of the fathers aren't there to help out with the children, and so they have depended on government assistance. If you want to get rid of the brown community, just take away the government assistance, and brown women will stop giving birth to children. They really will. But anyway, that's not even the topic of this video. Hello. That's not even the topic of this video. I basically just said that, and I have to go on and go. I was basically just saying that many people could be married if they were to get out their egos and see if people would decide to get out of their ego and have a higher mind and learn to look at what's good for them and not just what they're just attracted to externally, but what is really good for them, then I just feel like a lot of people would have what they want. Shira 7 has a channel, and she talks about a lot of stuff and women getting men. I want to say this. Shira 7 did not go by looks. She did not go by a lot of stuff that a lot of other women like to go by. She chose somebody that's older than her, and then he's not the best looking person in the world. She didn't care about that. And so it's not to say that you have to be with somebody that's unattractive. Somebody that's attractive could be a good person too. Okay, somebody who's attractive could be a good person. I don't want to make it seem like attractive people are just nasty, just don't have a heart and they're terrible people. But the point of the matter is that she chose to go for what's good, the best for her, instead of all of this other superficial type of stuff. You're going to want somebody who's going to make a decent amount of money, especially when you're in the United States of America. You're going to want somebody who is a provider, unless so you don't have to struggle and pay the bills. She doesn't have to work. And there's other women who don't have to work, and it's good because you're able to focus on what you like doing instead of having to produce a paycheck, to pay the bill. So it's good to be able not to work so you can focus on that. But that's what I'm saying is that many women can think of times where there were nice men, very nice men that were attracted to them, and they just didn't want them back, and that is fine. That is totally fine. But you just have to say that the reason for not really getting married is because you might not necessarily want what's good for you because it doesn't come in a complete package that you like on an outward. Externally, it doesn't come in a package that you like. Now, internally, they might have everything, and they might just have good money to go along with it. Okay? They might make a decent income. And honestly, a lot of brown women are not really, I don't care what you hear on the internet. A lot of brown women are not looking for men to make all this crazy money. I don't care what people are saying on this internet. A lot of brown women are not looking for somebody who's making all kinds of crazy amounts of money. They're not. Okay, but they do want somebody to help out, Let's see. I'm just typing in my notes. It's time for me to go on and head out. You see this, what I'm happening? I'm talking to you guys. You guys have me all late. I'm just joking. But anyway, within reach. It's time to go for me. But anyway, that is it, people. I just felt like talking about that really quickly. Yeah. Now, another thing with brown women, the reason why I say brown women can't get who they want because they always like who don't want them because they like brown men, and most brown men just don't want them, and that's why they stay single. And once again, they can say, "Oh, I don't date outside my race because I don't want nobody else." Well, then, but that's why you're not with anybody. That's what I'm saying. Get out of looking at what's on the outside and just look at what's good for you instead of what's on the outside. You keep going, oh, I like the brown man because such and such and such and such. You keep going, it's not working out. And there's a lot of brown women that stay single. That's if you want to be with somebody. Because I'm not a person that's into forcing people. I'm not a relationship. I'm not interested in, I'm not that kind of person to think everybody should be in relationships. I'm not that kind, but a lot of specifically brown women really want to be in a relationship. And I feel like they keep wanting a group of men that don't want them in that way. And then they keep complaining about why they are single. But I feel like a lot of brown women are very hard-headed because I'm sorry, you've had women online and other people tell you that with this particular population of men, you're not going to get what you want. You got to, first of all, if every brown man was attracted to every brown woman, the brown woman would still outnumber the men. Okay, so you look at that, you have a lot of them that's not attracted to brown women. You have a lot of them that's only attracted to other men. Okay, a lot of them that's only attracted to other men. And some of them are just not suitable as a mate. A lot of them might be in prison. That's really decreasing your chances of getting a brown man. And then you wonder why you're single. And then when you have so many of these content creators over the last couple of decades, I don't want to say decades because YouTube has only been around since I think 2006, but at least over the last decade and a half, you've had so many content creators tell you, to tell you, so I'm putting in my notes, that you need to go outside of your, you need to expand your options, right? It's been content creators that have said this time and time again. Brown women refuse to listen. And then some of them get up and make videos and talk about how, these women are bed witches, and then turn around and complain while they are still single. It's like, because you're not getting it. These men are not available. Like I said, brown women just already outnumber brown men. Even if all brown men were just good men and attracted to brown women still outnumber them. So then look at the amount of brown men that just don't want a brown woman, period. They want non-black. And then you have the brown men that don't want women. And then you have the brown men that are just not suitable. Okay. And then you have others that might be in prison or whatever other reasons. So that's limiting their options. Okay. Unless they're just going to marry Africans or, other brown people in the world. If that's what they want, that can increase their chances. Okay. But other than that, just constantly want to go after this brown American man, that's not a great option. It's just not there. And to be honest with you, Carlos King has interviewed other brown women like Nene Leakes. And I've heard, it was one other brown woman I've seen him interview. And he says to brown women all the time, have you considered dating outside of your race? Because I believe him as a man even considers to date outside of his race, because you know what? It's a lot of gay men that have a hard time with brown men. It's a lot of gay brown men who have a hard time with other brown men. So it's not just brown women who's having this problem with brown men. It's other gay brown men. Something that's just going on with, the collective there. Okay. So, and so you have gay brown men that say, consider dating outside your race, because that's even what they had to do. It's a content creator named Ayan, Aayan, I think. And he dates outside his race. And he's a gay brown male, and he dates outside his race. That's what I'm talking about. And brown men, you just won't find too many of them that are single, because they won't hesitate to expand their options. They won't hesitate. But brown women they want to be hard-headed. They want to be hard-headed and then want to go back and complain while they're single. I feel like at this point they want attention. I feel like they might be a little narcissistic. Like, do you want attention? What are you not getting? This is not a good collective. This is not a good pool of men for you to be choosing from. You're refusing to expand your options, and then you want to, why am I single? You're not listening. You're hard-headed. What's wrong? You have gay brown men that understood that this collective of men is not a good pool of men to choose from. You have gay men who understand it. What's wrong with brown men, women that they don't get it? What's wrong? They're hard-headed. They want to be attracted to who they're attracted to, even if these men get them diseases. I know you can get diseases from other men too, but I'm just saying, brown women, I remember it was a time when they were getting a lot of diseases. Okay. They don't care how it just hurts them. They're going to stay with this group of men no matter what, even if it kills them or unalives them, and then turn around and complain because they didn't want to listen to the people who kept trying to give them advice. You even have gay men that gave them the same advice that Crystal Harrison gave them, that gave them the same advice that Kendall St. Charles gave them, or Successful Ladies Live. I mean, these people from back in the day, like 2017, who's making these videos, I didn't make relationship advice videos. I never did that because I don't want a relationship. I like being single. So I don't want to put myself in there because I never gave relationship advice. But I'm talking about the people who were part of the divestment group, right? That you had so many people that came online giving advice, telling these women this is not a good group of men to choose from. And then you have gay brown men that turn around and said the same thing that these women said, but you call them bed witches. But then you have gay brown men that said the same thing. So what are they, bucks or bed bucks? What do they call in? Because they said the same thing as Crystal and Harrison. Okay, they have the same issue, and they're men who are gay. Who can't even have anything with a brown male, that they have to go outside their race as well. And this is not coming down on the brown men. It's just something that it's not a whole lot of them. And then the ones that are good, you have to have 20 women to one man. It's not going to work out. It's just not. Okay. So brown women just like to be hard-headed. They don't want to listen. You had women online that try to tell them they don't want to listen. But then you have gay men that said, listen, they have to date outside their race because they having the same issue. And they just want to be hard-headed and turn around and wonder what's wrong. Like, you have to get out your ego. You're going to have to get outside of your ego and go within. You have to, first of all, you got to change yourself, because when you change yourself, then the person who's right is going to come to you. Even if you're not even looking. Like, even if you're not even looking, when you change yourself from the inside out, even when you're not even looking, sometimes things happen anyway. Right? So a lot of people need to change themselves from the inside out and just really get outside their ego. Like, you're looking for somebody amongst a pool of men where it's not there, and you're wondering what's wrong. And people tell you and you refuse to listen. I feel like you like suffering. You like to suffer. And it's like, when people like to suffer like that, you're just going to let these gurus take all their money because they're refusing to listen. People have been telling them for over a decade what's going on in the brown community. They refuse to listen, and they continue to want to give them money. Let them go on and spend their money, because you're turning them over to a reprobate mind. They like having a reprobate mind because people have been telling them. So they want to go on and get this advice from Kevin Samuels from a few years ago. And these other men who get online and they want to throw their money at them, knowing goodness well they're not getting anywhere. But when people gave them good sound advice, they refuse to listen. It's because they like suffering. They just want attention to me. They're like a child that wants attention. They don't want the answer because they've gotten the answer. They want attention. They want somebody to talk to them. Like, they want to, why are you asking questions that you already know the answer to? You just don't want better for yourself, or else you would have done it already, because you already know the answer. Okay, and it's just a fact. Okay, but anyway, that's it. I gotta go, and I will talk later. All righty.